Let's see. All right, guys, what's going on? Good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of GAR Capital. It is Friday. Happy Friday, October 21st, 2022. Let's go ahead and get to work. The Dow and stocks just popped literally about a minute ago, a couple minutes ago. I was just watching it and tweeting. We were down as much as 200 points in the Dow. I guess stocks are good again because now we're down 42. Nasdaq futures down 51. S&P futures flat. Time for a drink, I guess. Um, we'll go over that chart here in a second. Russell 2000 futures are green this morning. 10-year yields just fell and then popped again, 4.297 on a 10-year. We'll go over the 2-year here in a second. And then the dollar index is up 0.29%, 113.20. That rejected 114, 113, 114. Dollar yen was absolutely on fire this morning, up to the upside. Volatility index 0.60%. Not exactly a lot of fear out there. Gasoline futures up 1%, crude oil up 0.82, 85.23 a barrel. Natural gas 0.17. Gold futures are red, 1636. Silver 1860 down 0.48%. Dollar yen 151.38. We hit 151.75 this morning. I was watching that all day. Up 123 pips. Pound dollar down 78 pips, 111.54. Euro dollar 97.70. That's down 16 pips. Bitcoin 18,910 down 0.63%. Not a lot of panic there in the highest of the high in terms of risk. Crypto, I would say. 1273 for Ethereum futures this morning. So let's go over S&P futures together. And I've been looking at this all this morning. And if you remember kind of the roadmap, I talked about that we would get to that 38.20 and then roll over, which is right here. We didn't get there, 38.20, 38.30. We got as high as 37.80, and then we rolled over back to the June lows. The June lows is holding up. That's the level that I was looking for. I thought we would get to 38.20 and then roll over. We rolled over at 37.80, so I guess 40 points off my target. But again, you could see back to the June lows. That seems to be that support, 36.39-ish. We got really close to it, and we bounced relatively quickly. That's very interesting to see. I don't see any news on why we got the pop other than just yields falling. There was no real reason or anything like that. Nothing that I see that stands out as bullish or anything like that. This is the latest news from the Fed. Wall Street Journal, Fed set to raise rates by 75 basis points. You could see here, and debate the size of future rate hikes. We talked about that, 75 basis points. We know that. We're going to get that in November, and we're going to get that in December. And I went ahead and made a little quick quip on Twitter about that. I said 75 is the new 50 and 100 is the new 75. That's just the new world we live in. So again, are we starting to price everything? I mean, that's kind of the thing that we've been talking about here. And you could see 4.28% on a 10-year. Again, we were as high as, let's see, 4.33%. So again, a nice little drop there. Let's see the 2-year. The 2-year is actually red in terms of yields. Look at that big drop. I don't know what happened exactly. I'm going to go search high and low on why we got this pop. The only thing I can see that kind of gives us a little bit of an understanding on why is really that support of 36.39. That's your support there. So you see that pop to 36.81 as of right now. We do have OPEX today, which is options expiry, quad witching. So again, we're expecting some volatility somewhat. I can't say big volatility, but you could see that now, we're starting to really go green here, 36.85. Interesting enough. Again, it's the same thesis that I've been saying, guys. What have we not priced in the market? What is it that we're missing? Yields have gone up. We know that the last couple of days. Yet the market, you get some red, pretty decent, but again, still above the June lows, still above the most recent lows of 35.02. Again, I'm still sticking to that 200 MA on the weekly as support. As of right here, you could see at 36.02, we are now bouncing above that on the weekly. Let's see if we can get back to the target this week, 38.20. Let's see if we get there. It's a long way to get there. Let's get to 3,700 first before anything, but we'll go from there as moving forward. We did get some earnings this morning. We had American Express this morning. I'll go over that with you. Let's go take a gander to Twitterland. Look at Twitter's pre-market. This was just posted right before 9 a.m. So who knows where that is now? A lot of volatility there. Let's see. American Express revenue did beat 13.56 billion, $2.47. Expected $2.40. Sees year EPS of 925 to 965. Estimated EPS was 990. So that's a miss on terms of guidance. Verizon did beat revenue. They did beat adjusted EPS. Fiscal year EPS of $5.10 to 5.25. The range did beat the estimates. Fiscal year wireless service revenue 8.5 to 9.5% starts cost savings plan. With Verizon and AT&T, AT&T did pop on their earnings. Again, guys, their big thing really is, let's see. Alert Russia's defense minister discusses Ukraine in call with U.S. counterpart ministry. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's right the pop there. Sorry, I just wanted to check that out. Maybe that's the real pop. Possibly some kind of deal in Ukraine and Russia. Again, that's pure speculation. But again, guys, I know I interrupted the Verizon call, Verizon numbers, but we talked about this when everyone is so in the point of Armageddon, where everything is priced in or everything's bad. You're already pricing in the worst. Any kind of sliver of good news, you're going to soar, and that's what we got right now. So back to the earnings real quick, and then we'll answer some questions. Again, the issue with Verizon and AT&T. AT&T popped yesterday. I believe Verizon is down after pre-market. I could go check. Let's take a look at Verizon on the hourly. They're off the lows, let's just say. AT&T, nice pop, did a little better. So the issue with AT&T and Verizon, and I could kind of put the competition or at least the comparison to T-Mobile, TMUS, is that T-Mobile does not pay a dividend the way AT&T and Verizon do. How much cash does AT&T and Verizon do just to attract investors who are chasing yield? Well, we know the yields in terms of AT&T stock. We can go and take a look right now. That's paying about a 6.83% yield, which is very nice. They do pay it. But again, is that sustainable? How about 7.05 for Verizon? Is that sustainable? And I used to be a Verizon shareholder about 2.5 years ago, just for the yield. It was paying about 4.5%. Then I swapped that to Apple. I sold my Verizon and bought Apple. So again, the main issue is that the balance sheet on terms of AT&T and Verizon is so big and preoccupied to dividends that T-Mobile gets to do more stuff for customers, is more focused on growth. As you know, they give a lot more stuff like Apple TV and stuff like that to their T-Mobile customers. I'm personally an AT&T user. I don't own shares other than my ETFs like S&P. I believe they have some AT&T in there. But and I do have my dividend port, which has some AT&T exposure, I believe, very small. But again, if you're trying to chase yield here, AT&T and Verizon, I mean, you're better off just getting government bonds at this point. At least they'll pay out. I'm not saying that AT&T will not pay out, but again, it's such a big part of their balance sheet, this dividends that they're paying out, and a lot of debt as well. That's why Verizon's talk about cost saving plan, and what have you. So S&P 500, if we go ahead and bring that up this morning, you can see now we're back to flat. It's just a wild morning with that big pop. It's just crazy out there, but we're holding that June low, and that's all we can really look at this point as we go back to 10-year treasury yields. Look at this volatility on the 2-year. That big drop to around 4.51%. Now we're bouncing slightly. How about a 10-year? You could see that still hanging up on near the elevated levels of the past 3 sessions. Good morning. Let's answer some questions. So I had a question on Discord this morning regarding Tesla. So I'll answer that when I'm done. Meta, let's go ahead and take a look at it. We'll go ahead and expand it. They were saying level to add Meta. So that's the real question. Let's go and maximize this out. Right near this support here, this is the low from 2019, right around 122. If you're bottom fishing, Meta isn't a horrible place to start, obviously, because it's been so beaten down from 384 to 131. But here's the question that you're looking for with Meta. Is this sustainable? Is this sustainable in terms of their user base growth? Is TikTok going to be a problem? We know that TikTok is taking users. Snapchat is not really a competitor, but Meta with WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook, we know what's important in their core. Again, it's all consumer spend. Excuse me, business spend on advertising. I think Google's a better play in terms of the advertising sense. Meta, the only thing is that they put so much investment in the metaverse. If you believe the metaverse is the future, then Meta is definitely value here. If you think that social media, that the king is still Facebook, and no matter what TikTok does, Meta will still be the winner, Meta's worth a buy. But if you're just looking just numbers and future growth, Meta might be still expensive. Let's take a look at the PE multiple. They may report next week. I think they report next week. Let's look at the forward PE. Forward PE on Meta is trading at 12.25, so it is very cheap on a forward basis. Cheaper than Google, cheaper than Disney. Again, these are just the peers in terms of their sector, communication services. If we want to go ahead and just go to straight PE, current PE multiples, it's trading at near 11. So Meta is cheap on a PE basis. Let's go ahead and go over really quickly some of their financials. Can take a gander. Let's see here. Here we go. Financials. Look at the year over year revenue. That's red, but that's expected. Net income is down 35%. That's not good. And again, this is a company that really doesn't charge for you to own it. Again, it's online. So again, you could use it anytime. But look at the change in cash. It's up at least, but EPS numbers, margins are down. We want to see those numbers turn around. There was a miss on earnings. In terms of Meta, you can go ahead and if you want to bottom feed here, you can add a slight small position, wait for earnings, give it 3 days, and see where you go from there. That's really the best. I wouldn't want to buy it ahead of earnings unless you're just trying to trade it. What's been going on with the VIX lately? Good question. Volatility index is not showing fear, yet the market is going up and down with volatility, obviously. How about this? Getting to near the 30. So you're not seeing a lot of fear yet. Keep in mind, chats, we do have our seasonality in November and December, strongest months as we round out in October. I think that's what the VIX is pricing in mostly. And then we also have midterm elections. You would think that it would be a little elevated, but 30, above 30 on average is pretty high. Pop is because a statement of Fed officials looking towards 75 basis point in November. And yep, exactly. There you go. So I didn't read the article Wall Street Journal, but again, we talked about we were kind of pricing in 75 and 75 anyway. So not really news. I think that's what the market was pricing in. Maybe we get 50 points in December with a low CPI. Fingers crossed. Maybe, but we know that 75 is on course. Is on course. Excuse me. Was released a little after 9 a.m. Yeah, of course. They wait for the morning note so we can get the information. Nice. What are my thoughts on Lucid? Lucid again is a electric vehicle company. If you get to $10, maybe if you want to go ahead and just buy there, yeah, you're back to IPO levels. If you own a Lucid car or know people that do, fine. I have yet to see one on the road. I think Tesla's a better play or a Ford since they actually have vehicles and they're actually moving them out. Lucid, I believe I did read that they had a recall, but again, most vehicles do have recalls anyways. I think Tesla and Ford are your better plays or a GM than Lucid. Again, if you're looking just for a bottom feeding like a Meta, again, $10 is probably your target. That's the pre-IPO level. And XOM calls through Q4. Well, we just got numbers from Schlumberger, and you could see XOM price action is absolutely great here. And again, I own CVX. I don't own XOM. Break 105.57. I think you could go calls here. And then there's no real gaps other than the daily here at around 95. So if you break below 100, that'd probably be your stop. If that's the case, you kind of keep it kind of tight. But again, a break above 105, it's a pure breakout on XOM. That's the trade. Again, energy has been outperforming. We've traded energy many times, including last year. So again, I think XOM and CVX are your winners in terms of energy stocks, which are doing very well. Twitter, since Musk offer, up 8.83%. Twitter's down 4.84% after hours, now 5%. I'm watching on CNBC. Looks like yields are starting to kind of level off a little bit. The short end range of the yields of the bonds are actually down, but yet the longer ended yields are up. So that's interesting. Not enough to get the reverse of the inversion, where we are now inverted on the yield curve, the 2 and 10s. The 2-year yields are paying more than the 10s. That's a recessionary signal. Talked about that for a while. But now the 10-year, the longer end bonds are starting to gain in yields while the 2-year is starting to drop. Again, that could be from that note of the from the Wall Street Journal. Now, granted, that news headline came in a couple of minutes before 9 a.m. So maybe it just kind of came in and everyone started to just respond to it. Could be, but we'll see where we go moving forward. But so for now, guys, we are holding the this key June low. I talked about that we were going to retest that. I just thought we would get to 38.20 and then get back to 36.39, but that doesn't seem to be the case. But a great week overall so far. I mean, even with this choppy tape, we did very, very well. So congrats to the team and congrats to the server members. We're glad that we're doing our thing. We're glad that we are definitely making sure to be careful and making sure to keep our levels intact and to see things as they go with bonds and the dollar every day. What is support on ES right now? It's 36.39. That's your June lows. Any freebies coming? Definitely could make something coming up. Do you guys prefer on Instagram or Twitter? If anything, I'll probably put in an IG since you guys liked IG a little more, obviously. So, yeah, we could do some freebies here and there. Just let me know and we can go from there. If anything, I can always put it as a reel since now Instagram only does reels. If we don't have a reel, guys, you guys are not going to see it. So again, I apologize if you don't like the reels as much. Make sure to mute my voice if you don't like it. I totally get it. There's captions on it, but this is the only way you're going to get the news. Twitter, again, if you turn on notifications, fine. But either way, Instagram. All right, Reynard, we'll get a freebie out to you. We'll have some fun. This is what it's all about. Have a great rest of your morning. Enjoy your weekend. Go Cowboys. Yankees lost last night, unfortunately. Cowboys play the Lions on Sunday. And good luck to my team. We'll see you guys on Monday for the morning note. Have a great rest of your weekend, guys. We'll see you soon. Cheers.